Hello, every former student. I'm Mr. Zheng. So today's lesson we will talk about a new topic, that is the loop options. Okay, the loop options. Okay, so what mean of loop option? That is, it is to deal with some program that may repeat a lot of time. So you may take example. You may look at example here. So in the first part, you can see these 5 blocks are the same, all right? But if you don't use the loop function, then you must repeat this same code for many times. But if you use a loop, let's say we use a repeat loop, you just need to type in the number 5, then it will repeat the same code for 5 times. Okay, so you can see the length of the code. Okay, while you use the repeat loop, then it will make the program more simple, more easy to understand. Okay, so on the next page, and the next step, that is, we will try to introduce some popular or some loops that you may always use in microbit or even in writing program. So the 3 loops that we will introduce is repeat loop, while loop, and a for loop. Okay, so for the first one, this is the repeat loop. So repeat loop is simple. When you type in the number here, then it will repeat the code inside for this number of times. So if you type in 4, then this code will repeat 4 times. Okay, so you can see the flow chart. Repeat 4 times. If it's still repeating, then do the code and then go back to the beginning of the loop, and then it will check, is it still in the loop? Yes, then just go on. Okay, after 4 times, it will go to the end. Okay. So here we will try to illustrate some more for loops. So here we will have another example that is still repeat for 4 times, and the code is something like this. All right, and at the very beginning, the variable value have the value 0. Okay, so you can see that before the first loop, first loop, maybe the value should be equal to 0. Okay, and then it go to the loops. For the first time, it increased by 2. Okay, so it will become 2. And then the second loop is still increased by 2. All right, so but the value is now in the variable is 2, so 2 plus 2, it becomes 4. Okay, so this is the first time, second time, third time, it's become 6, fourth time, it becomes 8. So finally, it will output the value as 8. All right. Okay, so this is the first loop that we want to know. Okay, now go to another loop. It's more complicated. It's while loop. So for while loop, it should have a comparison here. Okay, if the comparison is true, then the codes inside will be executed or will be run. Okay, all right. So you can see that I put a true here. That means the while loop will always be true. So this part of code will always be run. Okay, so you can see the flow chart. It will go to the first step, check that is it the comparison true? Yes. Then do the code inside, and then go back to the very beginning of the code of the loop, and then check it again. If it's still true, then run the code again until it becomes false. Then it will go out. All right. So we won't put true, okay, or we may not always put a true inside. We'll put a comparison here. Okay, so for the example, it say that if n is greater than 0, then this code will be run. Okay, so what to do? Change n by -1. That means decrease n by 1. Okay, and then show a heartbreak, some heartbeats. Okay? So go to the trace table. We'll use a trace table to see how the values change. So before the loop, n is 4. Okay, so here, come from here. Okay, and then in the first loop, n will it will check that whether n is greater than 0. Okay, so here greater than 0, is it greater than 0? Okay, if yes, then it will execute the code inside. Okay, so what will it do is decrease n by 1. So n is 4, and then -1, which is 3. Okay, and then show a heartbeat. And then the next step, is 3 greater than 0? Yes. Then again, decrease the n by 1. So 3 minus 1 is become 2. And then, is it greater than 2? Yes. Minus 1 again. Is it greater than 0? Yes. Minus by 1. And then at last, it is 0. N is 0. So is 0 greater than 0? No. Then the loop will be finished. Okay. So for this while loop, you can see it will repeat for 4 times. Okay. On the other hand, in computer, sometimes it will have 4 iteration. Okay, so it has the same meaning of loops. Okay, 4 loops or 4 iteration. All right. Okay, let's take a look for another example. Okay, here is the flowchart. You can take a look. Okay, so it means at the very beginning, n is set to 4, and then is it greater than 0? Yes. Minus the n by 1 and show the heartbeat, and then go back to here. Okay, but now the n is 3. So 3 is greater than 0? Yes. Decrease again. Okay, so it's become 2, the second iteration. And then 2 greater than 0, third iteration, n is 1. Okay, and then 4 iteration. Okay, and finally it's become 0, so end of the program. Okay, so for while loop, you should be always reminded that the comparison is very important. Okay, if you give an condition that never be false, then the loop will run forever. Okay, let's take it as an example. So n is 1. Okay, n is greater than 0. So the loop will run. However, let's go back. The n isn't changed, so it's still 1. It still be 1, right? So 1 is always greater than 0. So this string will always show. Okay, so this is the same as forever. All right. Okay, now let's talk about the last loop. Okay, that we want to introduce to you. That is for loop. For loop. So for loop, is quite similar to repeated loop. Okay, but so for loop, you should give the number to index. Okay, so the index will count from 0 to 3. Okay, you cannot change the value for 0, but you can change the value for 3. Okay, so in this example, it will count the first time index equal to 1 is 0, and then the next loop is 1, and then the next loop 2, and then the next loop is 3. So you should see that here it will have 4 loops. Okay, because 0, okay, the 0 still a loop. Okay, so be reminded. Okay, if you want to use the for loops, then the last value should be reminded. Okay, and the number of loops should be 1 plus the number here. Okay, so let's take a look for an example. So here, at the very beginning, it will set n to 0. Okay, and then the index from 0 to 4. So how many times will it run? Yes, it should run for 5 loops or 5 iterations. Okay, so inside the program, it will change the n by 2 for 5 times. All right, so in the trace table, you can see at the very beginning, the index is 0. The n is 0, sorry. So it will change for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the end, the value of n will be 10. Is it okay? And also you can see the index will always be increased. Okay, until it's equal to 4. Okay, it won't equal to 5 until it's equal to 4. Okay, let's take a look for the exam exercise here. Okay, so maybe you can stop the video and try to do this example. Okay, so let's do it together. So first of all, let's take a look of the program. N is equal to 0, and then it runs for 0 to 5. So it will have 6 loops. Okay, and each loop it will increase the value of n by index. Okay, remember it's by the index. So the value of index is important in this example. Okay, so let's take a look. So first of all, at the very beginning of the loop, the index is 0, and the value of n is also 0. And then for the first loop, the n will increase by index, but now the index is 0. Okay, because the index will increase by 1 at the end. Okay, so it still be 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0. Okay, and then the index is 1 now. Okay, and the value of n is still 0. So here will come to here. Okay, and the index is 1, so it's go to here. Okay, so 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay, let's go on. And then the next step, index is 2. 2 is still greater than 5, right? So we write true here. And then this 1 will go to here, and this 2 will go to here. Okay, so they add together is 3. Okay, so let's go on. This is 3. So 3 go to here. Okay, and then the 3 go to here too. So the value should be 6. Okay, let's go on. And then now the n is 6, and the n is 4. It's still less than or equal to 5. So we add 4. So it will become 10. Okay, and then it's become 5, but 5 is equal to 5, so it's still true. Okay, and then 10 plus 5. So the value should be 15. Okay, until the index is not 5. So it will end. Okay, so you can see the final value should be 15. Okay, or as a whole of the program, you can see that actually n is equal to very beginning plus all the value of index. Okay, so here is the value of index. Okay, so 9, 10, 15. All right, so the page. Okay, now we will do some more exercise here. Okay, so maybe I'll give you some time to try, and then we will discuss about the answer. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds, or you may pause the video and try the question yourself. Okay, so let's start. So this is a while loop. Okay, for n is less than 10. Okay, at the very beginning, n is 1. Okay, so 1 is less than 10. So this code will be executed. Okay, it say n equal to n is n times 5. So we'll multiply the n by 5. Okay? So first of all, n is 1. So it multiplied by 5. So the value should be 5. And then the next step is 5. So 5 is still less than 10. So it is still true. Okay, and then 5 go to the first one. 5 times 5, 25. Okay, so OK will be shown again. And then now n is 25. So it's not less than 10, so it is false. So that's the end of the program. Okay, so you can see the number of OK will be shown should be twice. Okay, so next example. So 10 seconds. You may pause the video or you may try to do it before we discuss about the answer. All right, so let's go now. So for this example, we can try to trace the variable change. So first of all, you can see here we have only one variable, n. Right? So we should only trace the change of n only. Okay? So at the very beginning, it is 0. Okay? And then we will repeat this sentence for 3 times. Because this is a repeated loop for 3 times. Okay? So the first time, we will 0 plus pick a random number 1 to 4. Okay, so now the n is 0. So it will become 0 plus 1 to 4. Okay, that means the minimum value, the minimum should be 0 plus 1. This is 1. And the maximum value, it should be 0 plus 4. Okay, so this is the first step. And then it will repeat this step for 3 times. Okay, this is the first one. So you should expect that it should repeat 3 times. Okay, so the second time, the n may be 1 or 4. Okay, and it will plus 1 to 4 again. So if it is the minimum 1, then plus the minimum 1 again, it is 2. If it is a maximum, it's 4 plus maximum 4, so it is 8. Okay, and then the last time is still plus 1 to 4, one of the number, and the minimum it is 2 plus the minimum 1, 3. Maximum 8 plus maximum 4. Okay, so that means the final result should be 3 to 12. Okay, one of the number. Okay, but the minimum should be 3 and the maximum should be 12. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, try to take a look for this example. Okay, 10 seconds. Okay, let's start. So here, there should have index and n. Okay, 2 variable. Okay, so let's check. Index. Okay, no change. N. Okay, so only n and index. Okay, so maybe in the trace table we should try to see the change of n and also the change of index. All right. So at the very beginning, n is 1. Okay, so go to here. Okay, n is 1. And then go to the next step for index from 0 to 4. So first of all, it should be 0. Okay, and then we will go to the loop. So inside the for loop, there have only one if then else statement, right? Okay, And in the XML statement, it will check the value inside index. If it is less than 3, then increase n by 2. If it is not less than 3, decrease n by 1. Okay, change n by -1, that means n minus 1. Okay, so let's go on. So first of all, index is 0, right? So 0 is less than 3. Okay, it is true, right? So it will increase the n by 2. So it becomes 3. Right? Okay, so this is the first loop. And then the second loop, index become 1. Okay, and it's still less than 3, right? So it will still increase the n by 2. But now the n should be 3. Okay, this value. Okay, so it's go to 3 here. So plus 2 is become 5. Okay, so this is the second loop. And then we just go on. Loop 2. Okay, so 2 is still less than 3, right? Sorry. 2 is still less than 3, right? So it's still true. Okay, so I will add the n. So now the n is this. So 5 plus 2 is becomes 7. This one. Okay, maybe I'll write like this. Okay, and then let's go on. And then it becomes 3. So 3 is 3 less than 3. Okay, 1, 2. So the answer should be false, because 3 is not less than 3. Okay, so this time we will go to the else statement. So the 7 go to here, and it will be minus by 1. And then the last time index will become 4. Okay, and 4 is less than 3? Sure, no. Okay, so the 6 will go to here and minus 1. Okay, so at the end, the n will be 5. All right, so let's go on. So 5 seconds again. Okay, let's go on. So for this example, it will be a very hard example. Okay, we won't examine it in the examination. Okay, never mind. Okay, but we still try to take a look for the answer. So for this example, there has n, I, j. So 3 variable here. Okay, 3 variable here. Okay, so in the trace table, maybe we should trace the value of n, I, and j. Alright, maybe I'll write it some more further. Okay, so the most difficult point is for I. For I, it run for 0 to 4, right? So that means the value of I should be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. However, you should take a look here. Inside the for loop I, there should have another for loop. Okay. So each time for the value of j, it will run through 0, 1, 2, and 3. Alright. That means when I is 0, okay, j will run for 4 times. When I is 1, and j will try to run for 4 times. okay, and so on. Okay, so that means this loop will run for here 3 times, 3 times, for 2, 3 times, 3 times, 4 3 times. Okay, so that means as a whole, the program will run for 3 times 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 times. Okay, so many times. Okay, and for each time, what will it do? It will try to add n by I times j. Okay, so that means at the very beginning, n is 0, and then for these 4 times, n will add by 0 times 0, okay, because at the first time, I is 0, j is 0, and then 0 times 1, okay, because the second time, and then 0 times 2, 0 times 3, okay, and then this is the first iteration of I, and then the second iteration, I is 1, so it will add 1 times 0, 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, okay, and then the third times, I is 2, and then I is 3, is 3, and then the 4 time, okay, so you can count, is it 15 times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, oh, more than 15 times, why? Oh, sorry, it should be 4. So 4 times, yeah, 4 times 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it should be 20 times. Oh, I'm so sorry, it should be 20 times. Okay, so here we have 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 4 times 5, yeah, okay. Alright, so try to find the value of this answer. Okay, so let's try to find the answer. So these are all 0, right? Okay, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 1, 3. Okay, so the first row is 6, and then 2 plus 4 plus 6 is 12, and then 3 plus 6 plus 9 is 18, and then 4 plus 8 plus 12, it is 24. Okay, and then try to add them together. It's 18, 18, 36, so it's 60. Okay, so that's the end of this chapter. So a very brief summary. For this chapter, we have learned 4 loop blocks in microbit. Okay, so the first is repeat. So it will repeat a question mark time because you should enter the question mark by yourself. Second, while, that should have a comparison. Okay, to decide whether the loop will goes again, keep going or stop. The first is the for loop. So for, we have an index. We have variable index to store the number of times it is running, but it will run for 0 to a question mark time, and the question mark is entered by yourself. Okay, so that's the end of this chapter. Thank you.